Hello, and thank you for inviting me here, although I'm not able to be with you physically. My name is Lars Ilshammar. I'm the Deputy National Librarian in Stockholm, Sweden, and I'm also an historian by profession, actually. I am with you today to talk about this, and now I'm going to share my screen with you. The work we have done in creating a proposal for a national library strategy. Um, and my agenda for this session is as follows. I'm going to speak very shortly about the mission. I'm going to give you an overview of the report. I'm going to tell you something about the aftermath, and not least the lessons we have learned from this process so far. The mission started already in 2015 when the National Library was given the task of compiling and proposing a national development strategy for the entire library sector, given by the then Minister of Culture. And the aim of all this was to strengthen and develop the entire Swedish library system in the long run. The mission was to take up to 4 years and was also funded separately from the National Library's budget. It had been preceded by a campaign ongoing for several years, actually, from the Swedish Library Association and from the National Library. And the process during these 4 years, among other things, it consisted of a lot of meetings, workshops, etc., within different parts of the library sector. This is just one picture from one of these dialogue meetings. The idea was to meet as many parts and representatives of the library sector as possible. It also included a lot of reports. There it is. This is just a few of them, and they are unfortunately entirely in Swedish. I hope you understand and speak Swedish. No, I suppose you don't. Anyway, this can be downloaded and also translated if you have equipment for translation from a link on our website, which I will give you later. It was even produced a film about the national library strategy. It's called the Demokratins skattkammare in Swedish, and that is something we can see here. Being delivered to the Minister of Culture on March 7, 2019 by Erik Fichtelius, who was the national coordinator, and the then national librarian Gunilla Hedenberg. This was the end of the process of producing a proposal for a national strategy for libraries. And it was called in English the Treasure Trove of Democracy. You can find the report, the main report, translated in English on the same web page I will point you to later. It consists of a vision, of course, a main goal for the development, and some of the more important means. I'm going to go through this very briefly. The vision follows from the Swedish Library Act, libraries for everyone, actually. And the goal is, in short, democracy. A democratic society in which everyone can freely access the world's collected literature and knowledge in order to be able to operate in society on their own terms. That is the goal of the library strategy. It also consists of 6 means or working areas. The first is society's open spaces. use the libraries as society's open spaces for mental cultivation, experiences, and conversations. The second is reading. Inspire reading experiences, increase everyone's reading and language comprehension, and strengthen the place of literature. And then comes learning. Develop the population's opportunities for lifelong learning and free opinion formation by means of a coherent chain of educational libraries. The fourth means or working areas is research. Strengthen the libraries as a constituent part of the research infrastructure and enable open access to scientific results from all publicly funded research. Open access, that is. Then comes National Digital Library Services. Make as much information and literature as possible freely and digitally available to everyone. And finally, a common infrastructure. Support and stimulate the public-facing libraries with effective and collaborative national and regional library functions and well-trained librarians. The strategy also comes with a package of 6 strategic reforms for a sum of 250 million crowns. That would be about 25 million euros. And these reforms are stronger school libraries, strengthen libraries for national minorities and indigenous peoples, stronger multilingual library services, stronger national digital library services, the library in the sky, which is a separate report, stronger national library authority, and a stronger national structure for skills development within the library system. These reforms are thought to be able to implement within the next few years. And the aftermath, when this report or this proposal had been handed over to the Ministry of Culture, has been generally positive, especially from within the library sector. It has been brought out among over 100 public bodies and organizations for consultation and is presently being considered by the Ministry of Culture. A bill is supposed to be presented on the topic within the next year, and we are very much looking forward to that. Minor parts are already being implemented by the National Library as we are speaking. Finally, the lessons we have learned so far. I suppose there will be more lessons in the coming process. The first one is actually, what is a strategy? That is not very self-evident. You have to, before you get into the work packages, define how you look upon a strategy. What is a strategy? How do we formulate a strategy? That is the first thing that we actually had a rather long process of finding out. Then you have to be aware that it takes time and you need endurance to set up a proposal for a national strategy. It takes time, both because the library world is changing as you work with the strategy, and you also need agility, but it takes time because you have to be a diplomat. You have to connect to all the different parts of the library sector, and that requires a lot of skills and knowledge from you as a diplomat or an ambassador for the work packages. You also have to remember that politics is slow business and you need patience. When the proposal has been delivered, it's probably a rather long process before you have a political output. But on the other hand, the process itself creates an increased amount of attention and appreciation for libraries. And that may be one of the main actually purposes of the creation of a library strategy. The process itself creates an interest in and an attention about libraries. So here are some contact information if you want to reach out to me, my email and my mobile phone and so on. But it also the link I talked about, where you can find actually everything about the strategy. Also the report itself translated to English. And please go there and download it yourself and read it for yourself. And I would appreciate your opinion about the content when you are finished reading. So thank you very much for listening, and remember to love your library. Thank you very much.